so good? Okay, a couple of explanations. And you asked about this. It's, Miles? Yeah. Awesome. So Miles asked, hey, what's the deal with the use of line 5 and 6 again at the end? The last two, notice the last two channels had the same input as the first two channels. Well, what happens is in the real world scenario, if you turn and look at your interface under the desk, all those, if you look on the way the panel's designed, all those black ports that you see, you know, these ones on the first part of the bay, all the way to the left of the bay, all those input jacks, those are combination inputs. That is 4 XLR inputs stacked on top of 4 1/4-inch line inputs. And what happens is on most interfaces, like this one, if I wanted to record 20 tracks, I don't have 20 inputs. So I have a cap of how many I can do simultaneously. And if you were to look at the instrument listing here, basically what happens when you run out of room and space is you just have to keep unplugging and replugging in new instruments as you go. So like if I were to record, let's just say I'm going to track, you know, the keyboard, okay? When I'm done tracking the keyboard, oftentimes I'm just going to steal the same inputs, disconnect the keyboard, and plug in the next thing into those same inputs. Does that make sense? So we can reuse the same inputs over and over again, just as long as we're not doing it simultaneously, right? Does that make sense? Or we're not recording them exactly at the same time. So that is typical to the studio recording process. A lot of times you're going to use like your best preamps over and over again, especially if you're doing vocals. If you're doing vocals all day, everybody in most cases, if they're going to jump into the vocal booth and use the same microphone, are all going to be coming down the same mic, going down the same input, just at different times. So we can reuse those. Shoot, there was something else that I really wanted to mention after you asked that question that I thought was helpful. Snot, I should have wrote it down. Okay, you know, everybody's here right now, right? Like everybody finished at this point, right? Okay, I want to show you a couple rerouting tricks on the I/O. Let me go ahead and add this. Please write this in your notes. Ready? Option plus so option plus routing assignment, and I'll show you what I mean. It could be the input or the output. Option plus routing assignment routes everybody to the same assignment. You just put equals routes all tracks to the same assignment. I'm going to show you what that means. Actually, you could do it. You don't stay there and do it. All of you do me a favor. Hold option, well, once you write your note, hold option, go to any track on that listing, and change their input to input mic 1. Did you see what took place there? So you're going to hold option, go to the input on any track, and make it mic 1. What did it do? Yeah, it made them all mic 1. It's an easy, fast trick, because the routing by default, when you open the new tracks, let's say we made 10 tracks like we did, what it did is it made them all go in the order of the interface numbers. And a lot of times, like I said, if we're going to do a bunch of vocals, let's say we just need a bunch of vocal tracks, we want to go ahead and create them right away, all right, because we know we're going to need them. We're going to want them all assigned to mic 1, channel 1, because that's where that microphone is. Real simple, easy trick. Hold option, and it does the all. Now, what I want you to do this time, this is a little different. This is a new step. This next step is how to route a select group. Instead of all, a select group. So that first one is how to route everybody, right? So changing routing for all. This next group is changing routing for a select group. So changing routing for a select group, step 1, select the nameplates of the group. All right, so if you're going to select a group of tracks, you're going to change your assignments, you're going to select the nameplates of the group. Okay, so select the nameplates of the group first. Now, hopefully you remember how to do that. The easy way to do that was to click on the nameplate and then hold Shift and click on the last one. We'll do that in just 1 second. So that's step 1. Step 2 is hold Shift plus Option and change routing. So Shift plus Option plus change routing. So notice what was the difference in the hotkey there? The prior step required you to do what? The prior, like to do to all, required you to use what hotkey? Option, just Option, right? And in the new version, it's Shift plus Option. So the Shift essentially means the group that's selected, okay? And if you, of course, you only select one, it'll only do it to one. On the other scope, if you have all selected, it will do it to all. If the whole group that you selected was everybody, then that won't modify it. So what I want you to do is go ahead and select channels 1 through 4. Now, if your nameplates are all lit up, like on screen, see how his nameplates are all lit up? If your nameplates are all lit up, in order to deselect them, you have to hold Option and click the nameplate. So if you hold Option and click the nameplate, it deselects them. I would write that in your notes somewhere as a side note. Hey, if to deselect all, hold Option, click nameplate. It's kind of a weird workaround that it would have been simpler to just make it so that you could just click it. I don't know why they didn't design it that way, but if you click one that's not active. Downside is if they're all active, I don't think you get there. If they were all active, were you able to just click off the? Oh yeah, because that's the. It's okay. But hey, let's go ahead and select the first 4. Select the first 4, and let's go ahead and all you have to do is Shift. So pick number 1, hold Shift, and pick number 4. So, click number 1's nameplate, hold Shift, and click number 4. Does that make sense? Because it's a range thing. After that, go ahead and do Shift Option, and let's make those all mic line 2, or mic 2 as an input. Again, you have to hold Shift Option. The big thing is you have to hold Shift Option before you select your routing, your input routing, because if you let go of it, or don't hit Shift Option before you do it, it won't take it. Does that make sense? So you have to actually hold Shift after you select your range, hold Shift Option, and go to your input and make them all mic 2. What was your name up front?
Chad.
Chad. Okay.
Yeah.
That worked for you, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just can't really see. Everybody else, so far so good? These are very functional things. Like I would tell you, the absolute most important things, like when you get into the studio, creating your sessions, mapping your I/O, creating new tracks, naming the tracks, routing the tracks. After you route the tracks, we're ready to start recording. Other than, of course, the stuff you have to do on the other side of the class, which, of course, is setting your mic preamp levels, making sure the instruments sound good, the mic placement's good. But now you're in a position to actually start doing something. Okay, what I want to show you last thing here, this is called cascading track inputs, or I should say, this is just called, you can just call it cascading routing assignments, because you can do it for the outputs as well, and you can do it in various different ways, cascading routing assignments. So cascading routing assignments. To cascade routing assignments, actually, let me just check this one. I'm pretty sure. I'm slide this just for a second. Pretty sure it's not using control. I think. Oh yeah. All right. Step 1 for cascading routing assignments: select the tracks to be cascaded. So cascading won't do all unless you select all. Okay? So select the range of tracks that you want to cascade. Step 2, this is the modifier, this is the shortcut you're going to use. You're going to use Shift plus Option plus Command plus change routing. But here's the key to the routing for cascade. I'll say actually let me let you write that down. I'll mention how this works. Shift plus option plus command plus change routing. Shift plus option plus change routing. Nice, right? All right. Here's the key with the cascading. What cascading does, cascading essentially, if let's say I have 10 inputs on my interface and I have 10 tracks that I just created, by default it typically will set that up in the right order. But if for some reason it doesn't, or I need to change or modify something about it, easy one sometimes is just like someone labeled the kick and the snare in the wrong position. Easy fix for that is actually just grab the track and switch them. But the routing will stay the same, so you might have to modify the routing. Well, if you literally want the routing to go from one on the input routing to, instead of doing it all so everybody goes to one, or instead of doing it so that everybody, what I think the other thing was is the group all does the same. This one will route them so they go in order. So cascading will set the inputs or the outputs in order. The interesting part about cascading though is that what you have to select when you change the routing information, the first number that you change in order begins the cascade. So do me a favor, on screen, you can do this for me and so everybody can see it. Hold Shift, Option, Command, and go to the input. Shift, Option, Command, and then click the input routing. All right, and hold on for a sec before you click anything. So if I were to select right now when I'm cascading, notice who's selected, it's which tracks. Audio 1 through 4, you see it? They're highlighted there. That's the only group that's going to get cascaded. Well, the interesting thing about this is the first thing I had to do the first time when I had you route is I had you route line 5, 6, 7, and 8. If he selects right now line 5, go ahead and select line 5. Hover over it for a second before you click it. So if he selects line 5, because the cascading command is in use, everybody that follows after is going to be put in order from line 5 on. If it runs out of numbers, it'll either repeat itself from the beginning or it'll just stop. So go ahead and hit 5. Notice what happened at the top on the inputs. Now it says line 5, line 6, line 7, line 8. See that? Do it again, Shift, Option, Command, and start from mic 1. So now this time he's going to start from mic 1. So now it says mic 1, 2, 3, 4. See that? So essentially it's just going to go in order. So real quick, what I want you to do is I want you to do that. Go ahead and select your first 4 tracks again. This time hit Shift, Option, Command, and cascade them. I would prefer you cascade them from line 5 like we had the first time. Now, the other trick I didn't mention, I'm sorry, in this instance, you can't pick any track. I forgot to mention this. You can't pick any of the 4. In this instance, you have to pick the first one up to the left. Does that make sense? Because it's going to cascade after that. So if you did the key command, but then you picked audio 3 in the group, the third one in the group, it's only going to cascade from there to the end. So in your notes, I guess that's something I forgot as a step. You have to select when you change the key command where it says change routing. You have to change routing of the leftmost selected track. So far, so good? Yep. Okay, real quick, on your workstation, go ahead and delete all of your tracks. Do it quickly. Today's quiz will be a little different. It's going to be kind of a combination of your standard drill and your quiz. So just go to, you can click, if you hold Option, you can click on your nameplates. Hold Option and click any one nameplate, it'll select all, and then you can go to track and hit delete. Right, so far so good? Okay, what I would like for you to do is, this will be a bit interesting, the way this will work out from a timing perspective. Because of time, you're going to turn to your neighbor, and you can use your notes but you have to do it as quickly as possible. One of you, and you just have to choose which one, one of you will operate, and the other of you will tell the other person how to operate the following function. So just get with somebody real quick, choose who's going to work on the computer and who's going to explain the situation.
Do you want to explain?
Yeah, I think you don't have a partner, do you? Yeah, there's. If you want to jump back here real quick, just bring your notes. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna very quickly. We're gonna make 10 new tracks. We're gonna cascade them, and starting on 10 new tracks. We're gonna cascade them backwards, not backwards, but starting on line 5. In order to cascade them starting on line 5, we're gonna start on line 5. And then by the time we hit the next 4 groups, or not the next 4, the last 4, those last 4 tracks, tracks 6 through 10, need to be cascaded from mic 1. Okay? Which means the track listing should go 5, 6, 7, 8. It should do spit of 1, spit of 2, and then mic 1, mic 2, mic 3, mic 4. How you do that is you just cascade twice. Right? You're going to cascade the first 6, starting on line 5, and then cascade the last 4, starting on mic 1. Make sense? But here's what happens. The operator does nothing that the other person doesn't tell them to do. So if you're the explainer, you tell them step by step what to do as if they don't know how to do it. And if you're the operator, you just only listen to the commands that you're given.
Makes new tracks. So, yeah, shit. So it's going to make sense. Let's go ahead and hit command. Yes. Go ahead and hit option late. Select option, and then hit shift. So 1 through. Let's go ahead and go to the IO top line. Shift options. And first one line.
First and last is
And then go ahead and select those with the same options.
baby pants and all the left and all the right. Yeah, because hands like you know how sometimes some songs you hear like you might hear like what like
Is anybody already done? Awesome, good job. I don't know how long ago, but my clock said it's in 40. So I don't know how long before
like I
that
said,
you're done.
it's like some this way.
Now that you're done, please switch.
So like, yeah. So to speak, how does it?
Option audio 1 to select tracks.
I think only like select one per se.
Shift.
I think we had cats now.
Top left IO.
So it's only just
Shift.
Anybody else done? Once you finish switch, have the other person run you through it. Cascade inputs.
Deselect this option.
Good work today, guys.